Hello friends and welcome. I don't normally look like this. We're doing makeup today, yay! We have so much to talk about. So what's going on? We're just gonna jump straight into it. Modere was an MLM, a multi-level marketing company that had been a thing for, I believe, like 23 years or something like that. It had operated under different names. I think it's only been Modere for like 10 years, maybe a little bit more than that. And before that, it was called New Ways, which I didn't know. I had no idea that Modere had been so like well established, I guess. But this past week, without warning, without any like super obvious red flags or anything like that, they dropped this closure announcement on their consultant base. None of them were expecting it. None of them knew this was happening. As a matter of fact, like 6 weeks ago, Modere held their annual convention and they were going off telling people like, yeah, Modere is getting stronger than ever. This is our comeback. We're doing great. We're growing and nothing can stand in our way. Well, it turns out that lots of things could stand in their way because they closed down. And guys, it is probably the messiest MLM shutdown I think I have ever seen. So we're gonna go through it today. Like, it's messy. When I tell you it's messy, it is a damn mess. But first, guys, listen, I'm on my way to 100,000 subscribers. I'm like 5.5 thousand away. So if you could do me a solid and hit that subscribe button, and even if you think you're subscribed to this channel, could you just double check for me and make sure? I'm trying to get to that 100,000, okay? And I really appreciate your help getting there. If you like content about multi-level marketing companies and just like internet culture in general, I don't always do my makeup like this. Some days I'm just lazy and would rather do my makeup while I film a video, and that's what I'm doing today. So please and thank you. I would really appreciate it. Let's talk about how everyone found out that this was happening. So there were some consultants who were saying that their first red flag was that they couldn't get into their back office. Others said that they had their customers. These people have customers? Like what? They had their customers reach out to them because they were trying to place an order and they were met with this message on the Modere website. It says, "Thank you for the journey. After 23 wonderful years of serving our cherished community, we've made the difficult decision to close our doors. We are incredibly grateful for your support, trust, and loyalty over the years. Whether you've been with us from the beginning or just discovered us recently, thank you for being part of our story. From all of us at Modere, thank you. It's been an honor." And that's all it said on the website. So a lot of consultants saw this and they're like, oh no, we must have been hacked. Like, still not getting it. This one says, "To our valued social marketers and customers, we regret to inform you that, effective immediately, Modere has officially closed its doors and seized all business operations. This includes the immediate discontinuation of product sales, enrollment of social marketers, and all related business activities. Modere is not transitioning to a direct-to-consumer model. We are permanently ceasing all operations. This decision was sudden, unexpected, and beyond our control. Unfortunately, due to circumstances outside of our management's influence, there was no opportunity to secure alternative funding, pursue restructuring, or provide advance notice. Please be advised of the following important notes. Corporate operations. All corporate employees, including elite services, will no longer have access to company emails, corporate communications, or official social media channels, including Facebook chats, effective today at 5 p.m. Payments and commissions. All company funds have been frozen. Therefore, we are unable to process any pending or future commission payments, product credits, bonuses, incentive trip reimbursements, or any other form of compensation or shares. Recent orders. Orders placed within the past few hours will not be fulfilled. Customers who placed orders will not be charged unless their order has already been shipped. Access to database and technology platforms. Access to your databases, back office, and all Modere technology platforms will terminate permanently today at 5 p.m. We strongly encourage you to export any essential data or information immediately if possible. We deeply regret the suddenness and impact of this announcement. Our team is sincerely grateful for your dedication, support, and contributions during our time together. We recognize the challenges this decision may create and genuinely apologize for the inconvenience and distress this causes. Thank you for your understanding." Also on the anti-mlm subreddit, they posted this, which is an email they sent on April 2nd to just kind of show you like the messaging that was going on leading up to this. They said, "Dear whoever this was, with several incredible products launched in the past several months," use the word several twice in the same sentence. Okay. "It's an exciting time at Modere, and we're not slowing down anytime soon." Oh, really? We will continue to develop science-backed products that help people all over the world achieve their healthiest, happiest selves. To accomplish this goal, we are shifting our focus to our health and wellness products. This means we will be discontinuing all products in our household and oral care lines, which includes the following: and a bunch of household stuff, toothpaste, mouth rinse, laundry shit, yeah. This change will allow us to do more of what we do best: create and support amazing products that help you and your customers live better lives. Discontinued products will be available for individual purchase while supplies last. Once they sell out, they will be removed from the website. So as I'm sure you can tell, this was a rug pull. They did everything in their power to make sure that no one knew this was going to happen. All of their consultants were under the impression that, hey, we just had our convention. They said that we're growing and doing great. Just got this email that, it says that they're discontinuing products, but it's because they're just moving in a different direction in their business. But they really, really did not expect a full-on rug pull closure. And that's the thing about multi-level marketing companies, is that no matter how many of these people will sit there and tell you that you are your own boss, you make your own hours, you have the opportunity to make however much money you want, and yada, 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 okay? Ultimately, you're not a business owner. You have no control over this. If you were your own business owner, you would not be dealing with a closure that's like outside of your control. And like I always say, there are people in MLMs that I don't feel bad for. Usually they're the leaders who are completely aware that the only way to make a livable income in a multi-level marketing company is to just recruit. It's not about the products, it's about how many people you can convince to sign up and join your team. Those people, I don't feel sorry for them. And then you have the rest of everybody else who, I mean, honestly, I think it's probably good for most people because most people aren't making money. Most people are losing money in companies like Modere. They might look at it as like, oh no, my business, like I was gonna pop off any day now. Ultimately, it's probably for the best for them. Are they gonna just go off and join another MLM? Hopefully not, but probably. But I do feel bad for those people because they're still kind of living in that delusion. But I do definitely feel bad for people who actually were like legitimately trying to like work their biz, to build their biz, to build financial free, like before they really realized what that meant in an MLM. Those are a lot of people that I do feel bad for because ultimately most of them probably were influenced to join Modere with the promises of financial freedom and time freedom and be home with your babies and da-da-da-da. Ultimately, yes, there are a lot of monsters in the world of MLM. We talk about them on this channel all the time, but not everyone in an MLM is a monster, and this does like negatively impact people. So, when we see this kind of unexpected rug pull, yeah, I mean, the human side of me definitely does feel bad for these people. But I think one question that everyone is asking is why? Why did this happen? So I don't know anything about their products or where they're made. I don't know if all of the tariffs going on, this trade war with China, I don't know if that had anything to do with it. I don't know if their products are made in China, so I don't know if that played a role at all. In one article I found, this is on the Mirror, it says the exact reason of the closure has not been disclosed yet, but sources close to the business revealed financial challenges and changing consumer behavior, plus regulatory pressures, were among the reasons for the decision. The market after the pandemic has not been favorable to direct selling brands, and Modere is believed to be the latest to be hit. The company also faced increased competition from both e-commerce giants and newer wellness startups offering more competitive pricing and innovation in products. First of all, before I dissect that, I do want to say that we're going to get into some of the real kind of behind the scenes reasons why I think this happened, but this article does bring up a few points that maybe they do have something to do with it. Financial challenges, yes, we'll get into that. Changing consumer behavior, I think that's referring to how people just don't want to support MLMs anymore. We know they're scammy. So many people know someone who has been hurt by an MLM or have been hurt themselves, and like they just don't want to be part of it. And a lot of things is honestly due to the anti-MLM movement and the activism that we've kind of taken into like spreading consumer awareness. I think it is very effective. Information is a very powerful tool, and people who have ulterior motives fear it. They fear the truth coming out. And that's exactly what's been happening with multi-level marketing companies over the past 5-6 years. People have always been against MLMs, let's be honest, but it's been like significantly more recently. Regulatory pressures, see, that doesn't make any sense to me because, like, not to get political, but this is just fact. So if you want to get mad about me mentioning this, like, chill out, man. But the thing is that the head of the FTC, Lena Khan, I think was her name, Trump fired her as soon as he got into office. So the head of the FTC, Lena Khan, she was responsible for a lot of this regulatory pressure, like on the federal level. She did a lot for the dismantling of multi-level marketing companies over the past few years. So I'm like, what regulatory pressure are you talking about? As a matter of fact, you guys have been gutting all regulatory industries. So like, it can't be that, right? Now, the Washington State Attorney General did just force paparazzi to stop operating in the state of Washington unless they change their business model, which they're refusing to do. So I guess they can't, operate in the state of Washington anymore. So I'm like, are you just afraid of the state of Washington? Like, if paparazzi's not really afraid of the state of Washington, why are you, Modere? So I don't think it's that. I really don't. I think now more than, I don't want to say more than ever, but there's like the least amount of regulatory pressure right now than there has been in decades. Like, I call BS. On a federal level, of course. States have their own rules for a lot of this stuff. The market after the pandemic has not been favorable to direct selling brands. That is because, and this is what I always say, so when COVID hit in 2020, all of the MLM girlies and squirrelies went out and preyed on people who had lost their jobs due to the pandemic. People were like desperate for income. Okay, so in April 2020, unemployment was at almost 15%, which is higher than it's been in almost a century. As of February 2021, it was at 6.2%, and now I believe it's back down to like 3 or 4% or something like that. But so what happened is that all the MLM girlies preyed on people who had lost their jobs, and they're like, hey, I have a work from home opportunity, because that's all anyone could do for, well, not anyone, people who weren't essential workers, people needed an income. So MLMs boomed despite all of the work that myself and others were doing, saying, do not give, your COVID checks. They were sending out government checks for like $500 or $600. Don't give your checks to an MLM company. Don't do it. Like, it's a scam. No one listened. So then they spent some time trying to make money in this business model that ultimately is set up for 99% of people to lose, period. The odds are not in your favor in a multi-level marketing company. You almost certainly cannot be successful. And they all had to find that out the hard way. So what happened? Like, literally, if you go back and watch my videos from 2020, which I'm not saying you should, I'm just saying you're probably going to hear me say this a lot. I was saying, guys, there's going to be a mass exodus. Like, people are eventually going to realize that this business model is not sustainable, that they're not making any money. Most of them are probably losing money, and people are going to realize that, and they're going to drop off. And what happened? Exactly what I said was going to happen. There was a mass exodus. But during that time of growth, I think what happened is that a lot of MLMs invested in that growth, expecting it to continue. And I'm like, that is a pretty stupid decision. To an extent, I understand that there was a lot of growth, so therefore you needed to invest in like making more products and probably had to hire more people and stuff. In general, they threw a lot of money into this growth and then didn't have a plan for once the growth stopped. And then I think once the growth dropped off and then went on that steep decline, they didn't have a plan. None of these companies had a plan. They're just like, oh shit, now we have these giant facilities that we can't afford the rent on anymore because we're not selling as much products anymore, because we're not recruiting as many people anymore. What are we gonna do? The market has not been favorable to direct selling brands because you recruited everyone and their mother when unemployment was at an all-time high. And all of those people realized how big of a freaking scam MLM is, in my opinion. And in all those people's opinions too. Like, what did you expect was going to happen? Well, with Modere specifically, we have a few ideas. This has actually been going on for a few years. So there's this guy named Justin Prince. If you've been in the anti-MLM world, you've probably heard his name. I don't think I have ever covered him or talked about him, but I know my friend of the channel, friend of my heart, Erin Bees, knew a lot about him because she actually was in his extended downline in Modere before she joined Prove It. Apparently, he had been in Modere since 2012, which I think is before it was even Modere. I think it was still New Ways back then. He claimed to have made the company $2.5 billion in sales. So he got terminated in 2023 by Modere. Modere terminated him. You know, he was one of their top consultants, one of their highest ranked and highly regarded consultants. Modere just decided, you know what? We're done. You're done. Bye. So what did Justin Prince do? He sued Modere. Now, his lawsuit said Modere came under the control of a private equity investor, Z Capital, in 2013. Revenues grew and Z Capital seized an opportunity to restructure its debt on the back of Modere for the benefit of Z Capital and its partners. The loan proceeds were not reinvested into Modere, and Modere was straddled with excessive debt and poorly management, that's what it says, I don't know, by its board of directors. Modere's business began failing as sales declined, resulting in decreased commissions for Justin and other distributors. Later on in the lawsuit, it says Modere wrongfully terminated its relationship with Justin, kept the commissions he earned, and usurped Justin's vast network of nearly 60,000 downline members. So yeah, Justin's lawsuit claims that Modere had been failing because they basically made a bad investment choice and they got kind of like screwed over by their investment firm. And according to Justin, he says, you know, they terminated me and they kept my commissions. They held on to my downline, didn't tell them anything. So Justin Prince claimed whoever was the executive chair at the time, he says that they told Justin he needed to, quote, message his downline to inform them of planned commission cuts, layoffs, cost cutting, and Modere CEO Asma Ishak, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, being stripped of her power. So this CEO Asma, I don't know how to pronounce it, I'm so sorry, but she allegedly told Justin Prince that Modere was in dire financial straits as of May 2023. So then in August, so just a few months later, Modere laid off 30% of its corporate staff. And then in October, they terminated Justin Prince. And that was right before they were supposed to pay him $300,000 in commissions, allegedly. And then Justin Prince claims that Modere started an alleged smear campaign against him, and they told distributors on some webinar that Justin Prince had been disseminating confidential business information and misinformation to key employees and trying to destabilize Modere's workforce and recruit them to leave Modere and start a new company with him. Modere allegedly was telling everyone, hey guys, like, we had to get rid of Justin. He was not doing right by the company. And then, what do you know? Modere filed a lawsuit against Justin Prince. So not only were they being sued by Justin Prince, they were like, no. Like, I don't think this was even like a quote unquote like countersuit. I think this was like a separate lawsuit. And I don't know if it was retaliatory or if they had already planned on doing that, but I don't know. But obviously we should all know that, you know, legal expenses and stuff are expensive. So not only was Modere having to put up money to defend themselves against the Justin Prince allegations, they also started a new lawsuit themselves. So like hundreds of thousands of dollars at least went into that, I'm sure. Now, Modere's lawsuit basically said, Justin Prince is trying to steal all of our information and customer base and start his own MLM. And they say he did this because he was like holding Zoom calls where he would be airing out all of Modere's dirty laundry, all of their financial instability, everything he had been allegedly told. He was going off telling his downline like, yo, Modere's fucked. Like, you guys should seek out other options, basically, which led to a lack of confidence in Modere. And a lot of people did kind of go, okay, I'm not about a rug pull, you know, I'd like to get out of here. This eyeliner situation is not going well. So obviously that kind of uncertainty led to a lot of people leaving Modere, which led to a loss of revenue. And then that led to the layoffs that I was talking about, the corporate layoffs. So they're basically just like, it's all Justin Prince's fault. It's all this one distributor's fault. It has nothing to do with our shitty financial situation and terrible investment and business decisions. Nope, it's all Justin Prince's fault. He was just up there lying about us. Now, hilariously enough, though, Justin Prince did start his own MLM. So, like, they weren't really wrong, you know? Modere wasn't wrong. He was going to start his own MLM. Now, I don't know the story behind that. I don't know if he started the plans to make a new MLM before or after he was terminated. Like, it sounds to me like if he had the idea idea that Modere wasn't doing too great financially. He would have started making these plans before they terminated him, but I don't know. That's just speculation. But by the way, that MLM that Justin Prince started is one called Make Wellness, which has been covered by, I haven't covered it, but I know a lot of other anti-MLM creators have covered it. So in that lawsuit also that Modere filed against Justin Prince, they name this other guy named Justin Sarah as like a co-conspirator to be the ones to bring down Modere so they could poach all of their distributors and bring them over to their MLM. Even though like they didn't list this guy as a defendant, so he wasn't actually on the lawsuit. They just wrote in the lawsuit like, oh, Justin Prince and Justin Sarah, they're being sneaky. They're trying to bring us down. Hilariously enough, Justin Sarah is listed in Make Wellness's About section as a co-founder and the CEO. And then Justin Prince is just the founder. Turns out that they were working together. They are working together right now as we speak. They both are co-founders of Make Wellness together. So again, I don't know the timeline of events. I don't know if this was planned on their end. I don't know if Modere was legitimately onto something there, but this lawsuit was filed on a state level. So like what, I don't know, it's probably Utah. So you can't really like follow exactly what's going on. So I don't know if it was ever settled. I'm sure by now the lawsuit would at least be dropped because like Modere's donezo. Man, this sucks. My eyeliner pen is drying up. I need to buy more. But as an aside, Make Wellness isn't doing very well, apparently. According to Behind MLM, they said that their website traffic is supposedly down 50% as of February 2025. So they don't seem to be doing that great right now either, which is pretty on par with like every MLM. Moving on though, that's not the end of Modere's legal situation, because last year, 2024, Modere sued an MLM company called Frequence. Frequence is a company that was started by 3 former Modere high-ranking consultants, Amber DeLoof, Bryn Lang, and Marina Simone. So Modere claims in that lawsuit, the girlies from Frequence had stolen Modere's confidential information to start their own MLM company. Where have we heard this before, Modere? And then like Modere was like trying to get an injunction and basically saying they weren't allowed to operate for 6 months due to their contract they signed with Modere when they were distributors. Behind MLM speculates that the reason these girlies left Modere and started Frequence is because of declining sales and stuff in Modere. Because in 2024, there was a steady decline of website traffic to Modere. But, you know, unfortunately for Modere, the court was just kind of like, no, we're not granting you this injunction. Fuck off, basically. And the lawsuit got dropped in July of last year, 2024. So, I mean, long story short, from my perspective, knowing what I just explained to you, it seems like Modere closed because of a slurry of bad financial decisions and unsuccessful litigious action on their end. So it's like, it seems pretty self-inflicted. Poor management, you know, all that. But that didn't stop Modere from trying to stay afloat, though. Like I was saying before, about 6 weeks ago, they had their annual convention. They were gassing everybody up, being like, yeah, guys, everything's great. Everything's fine. We're gonna be totally fine. Modere's kicking ass, you know? I got this picture from John Melton, who is someone we're going to be talking about here in a second. He was also a highly regarded, high-ranked Modere distributor. He posted this picture on Facebook on March 16th. He said, our new president, Nate Frazier, so yeah, they had just like hired a new president as of like less than a year. I don't remember exactly what it is, but like they've been through a few like CEOs and presidents and stuff. Our new president, Nate Frazier, has made some incredible investments in major moves to help us level up in 2025 and many years to come. Really. Beyond fired up and grateful for this next chapter with Modere. Best income opportunity on the planet and only getting stronger. Oh, interesting. I wrote in my notes here, they hired a new chief revenue officer in February 2025. I don't think that's Nate Frazier. I think Nate Frazier's like, he took over after that asthma chick. So I think this was a different person they hired. Oh yeah, it was a woman from what I remember reading. I didn't write her name down in my notes, but yeah, they hired a new financial person to help them. And then like less than 2 months later, they're closed down. Sucks to be that person, I guess. But they definitely made it sound like they had plans to continue operating. And who knows if they had plans to close. Who knows if like tariffs had anything to do with it. And that's why this decision comes now. I don't know for sure. All I can say is that it just seems like there's just been a lot of factors that go into why Modere closed. But anyway, I want to watch through some of the distributor reactions to this and hear what they have to say.
I was part of Modere, a 23-year-old company gone. No warning, no lead up, no time to prepare. And here's the part that I think hit me the hardest. Even the corporate team didn't see this coming. It was a shareholder decision. And that's how fast your income can vanish when you don't control the company. I've been in this industry for 19 years and I've seen highs, I've lived the lows. And a few years ago, I made a decision that changed everything for me. I stopped relying on just one company to take care of me. Because the truth is, no matter how strong your company seems, you don't own it. You don't control it. And if your only stream of income is tied to that one company, that's not security, that's risk. That's volatile risk.
So I don't know if this lady like is her own network marketing guru type of person. She's basically sitting here like, diversify your income, you know, like they all say, which as far as MLMs go, most of them don't let you join multiple MLM companies. Some of them have different rules. Some of them are like you can, but only before you have hit this certain rank. Some of them are like, no, not at all. Some of them are like, sure, as long as you don't use the same social media account. So it you know, it depends. But this lady's basically making it sound like, hey, if you're gonna be in network marketing, you gotta be in like multiple network marketing companies, which is I mean, she didn't say that, but I feel like that's what she was implying. Doesn't seem like good financial advice. Don't do that. But yeah, so she said this was a shareholder decision. Modere was not publicly traded. It was owned by private equity firms. Okay. But like what they were saying in that Justin Prince lawsuit, he was basically accusing them of partnering on with that private equity firm. And then they used Modere to like get themselves out of debt as a private equity firm and didn't give a shit about what actually happened to Modere. They were just like buying it so that they could get themselves out of what, like that's how I understand it, but I'm not a financial professional. I don't know shit. Rich people stuff, I don't know. I don't know nothing about that. There are probably some really smart people who can explain it in the comments, but it sounds like to me that they were all just like, all right, well, we've basically milked this sucker for all it was worth, so time to shut it down, basically. That's what it sounds like to me. Now, here is a distributor getting up here crying. We know we love to see that. I know, it's so sad. I don't know how like successful this lady was, so this could be a sad situation, but I don't know. Either way, she was not given a heads up. No one was, but this just really shows just like kind of how swift this rug pull really was.
Hey guys, so I think it's really important that I do a video. I know I look like an absolute wreck, but when I tell you why, you'll understand why. So those of you that know me know that I have been a social retailer. So I've worked in network marketing for over 10 years now. A year ago, I made a decision to move to another company that had 30 years of trade, incredible products that aligned with me. So for the past year, I've worked for this company and I've absolutely loved it. I've loved the products, I've loved the results, I've loved helping people. It's something that I've been so passionate and loyal to. And then yesterday, I got a message from a customer. So I heard from the company are in America, so they're 5 hours behind the UK. So at 4:15 in UK time, which would have been about 11:15 there, I got an email saying, congratulations, you've qualified for a leaders retreat, which I knew I was working towards. So I was so excited, I was happy. My TikTok's just taken off, my Instagram's booming. Like I just felt like everything was brilliant. And at 9:30 in the evening, I was at the gym and a customer messaged me and said, I've just gone to place an order and it said you've shut the doors and that Modere's closed down. And I was like, no way. I was like, we've been hacked. Because we have got a new website and we've had quite a few bugs. I put the screenshot of what my customer said into the leaders chat and said like, guys, this is what's been said. And about half an hour later, one of the top bosses come back and said, yeah, I've just heard. I've just been told myself. And I'm like, what? So it's true. It was such a big shock. We've launched some incredible products these last few months. Business was booming, like the busiest I've been. I just don't understand. I just don't know what's happened. Like, it seems like the company didn't even know because they'd launched a product this week. They booked trips. Like, their Instagram was still going yesterday day. It's like close of trade, 5 o'clock their time, which was 10 o'clock our time. It's like, now it's 5 o'clock, just to let you know, that's it, done. We've shut the doors. I'm like, what? I've got like team that are waiting for payday today. We've not been paid for all of March's work. So yeah, it's just come as such a big shock. But what I do know is anyone that's paid for their orders, they've said that their orders will be fulfilled. So at least that gives me some, like, you know, at least I know that you're going to get your orders. And trust me, guys, I wish I'd placed an order just before I knew this news, because I really, really love the products, and I'm gutted that I'm not going to be able to get hold of them. So yeah, I just wanted to let you know that this is at 9:30. Like, I didn't find out till 10:30 last night. I've cried ever since. I'm absolutely gutted. Anyone in this industry will know how sad it is when you've worked so hard, self-employed for so long. I've been approached with other opportunities, but I need to make sure the products align with me and my team. I'm just so sorry, and I just feel so mortified that I've worked so hard and then like that, gone. But hopefully the universe has got a better path for me. Hopefully, you know, they say in your greatest disappointments is another appointment waiting for you. So I'm just trying to hold on to that and hope that this nightmare is going to turn good. But for now, I'm one broken woman.
There was a lot there. I had to just like let her play. Yeah, how's that for a rug pull? She got an email at the beginning of the day like, hey, you qualified for, what was it, a leadership retreat? Which, okay, at this point, if she's a leader, then I guess I don't feel bad for her. If she's been in the network marketing industry for 15 years or whatever it was she said, like, yeah, I don't feel bad for her. This is what you get for being part of a scammy, nasty industry. But regardless, same day, she gets qualified for a leadership retreat. And then later in the day, they go, never mind. Actually, we're closing down the entire company. Like, what? If this lady's like, I'm going to find a new place for me and my team, it's like, good luck. I mean, she's in the UK. Maybe MLMs operate differently in the UK. Like, I'm sure there are MLMs that are in the UK that aren't in the United States. So I don't know, maybe she can find something out there, but not that I'm encouraging that. I'm just saying doesn't seem like a good financial decision actually right now. So, and the other thing is too, she's like, I've been offered business opportunities. Like, all of these Modere peeps are being offered bridge contracts. And when I say all of them, I mean like the leaders and stuff. Like, I guarantee that there are a lot of bridge contracts floating around right now. If you didn't know what a bridge contract is, it's basically one MLM will be like, hey, we see you in this other MLM with a big giant team. We'll pay you money. A lot of times they'll say, we will give you a team. If you come on with us, we will just give you people and money. We'll give you people and money. All you gotta do is just come over to us. I would be willing to bet that a lot of these people have already been offered plenty of bridge contracts. This video has copyrighted content, but here is what the caption of this video says. Anyone else feeling the weight of today's news? My heart is with you. Modere was a huge part of my journey. It gave me an opportunity to stay home after having my son during one of the hardest, most vulnerable seasons of my life. For that, I will always be thankful. I know what it feels like to pour your heart, your energy, and your belief into something only to be met with an ending you didn't see coming. It's heavy, and it's okay to grieve that. To everyone who's hurting, confused, or unsure of what comes next, I see you. There's a path forward. There is still purpose in your story, and you don't have to figure it all out today. I'm sending you so much love and strength, blah, 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 blah. People are devastated in the comments. I do have one more sad distributor I want to react to. One of you guys sent me this.
I just wanted to come on here and have a chat because it's been a really big 24 hours. To everyone that has sent me friends requests, tasteful messages, and when I say tasteful, bear in mind, you may not be aware that they're very tasteful, but messaging people that have just gone through a huge ordeal, like we all have just gone through, and messaging, offering your kind words, but then also offering an opportunity, that is really tasteless. Like, it's disrespectful. So please, if you're watching this and you're thinking of sending me a friend's request, I received almost 50 yesterday morning, and I've declined every single one of them. If you're watching and you're going to send me a friend's request, I probably wouldn't bother. I'm very flattered that I've had lots of friends requests, that I've had lots of messages with people wanting me to join their businesses. But first and foremost, you know, yesterday was a huge, sorry, this can be very real and raw. It was a huge shock, I guess. Not something any of us were expecting. We've all just sort of come away from our conference. Good grief. We've all just come away from our conference and it was absolutely amazing. So very, very unexpected.
So I'm probably going to be cutting this up, chopping it up a little bit, because she takes a lot of long pauses because she's crying. So I don't want this video to be super duper long. But this is something I do want to touch on, and I do have a few reference videos regarding what she's talking about here. But this is another huge thing that happens when MLMs close. And quite frankly, I think it's just disgusting behavior. But what these people like to do after an MLM closes, they will go on the prowl like sharks that smell blood in the water, and they will start making content being like, hey, I have like this great opportunity that you should join. Like basically like, hey, did you just have the rug pulled out from underneath you in an MLM company? Well, here, join my MLM company. That'll never happen with our company, just like every fucking company ever says. That sucks it happened to your company, but not my company. That would never happen to my company. Like, okay, every time this happens, these people come out saying like, I never expected that this would happen with my company, with my income, blah, blah, blah. And it's happening so much more frequently now. To be that shark swimming in bloody infested water, just looking for your next come up by recruiting people who just had the rug pulled out from underneath them. They're vulnerable, they're uncertain, they're scared, they don't know where they're gonna go or what they're gonna do next. I think that's really scummy, and it's really gross that people do that, and they do it every time. With Modere specifically, if you search the hashtag Modere on any platform that I've looked on, because I've been looking for distributor reactions and stuff, the hashtag of Modere is filled more so with people who are trying to recruit Modere distributors, more so than people talking about the rug pull. And that's disgusting to me. Like, I mean, you can go look for yourself. If you're trying to look for distributor reactions, people expressing their sadness and their feelings about the situation, I think you will be thoroughly surprised at how hard that is to find, because they are hidden in a slurry of sharks.
I haven't cured myself because, hey, I can say anything now because it doesn't matter if it's not compliant. But, you know, we never claim to cure. But the products that I was taking helped me 80% of my symptoms. Also, like, helped me lose a lot of weight. Last year I lost 16 kilos doing a program for my Modere family. I love you all. And I know there's brighter days ahead. But please, don't give up on your dreams. Like, this just shows that you never know what can happen. But please, please, anyone, please, no more messages. Honestly, I do appreciate it. I'm very humble that you would all think of me that way. But yeah, I will not be opening any more messages, because from today onwards, positive, positive, positive. I think this will make us all a little bit stronger.
Ma'am, no one thinks of you that way. The only thing they think of you is that you are dollar sign. Like, they are looking at you and their little pupils have turned into dollar signs. Like, that's all you are to them. Maybe they would look at you and go, well, she was successful, so she would be more valuable to me than Sally over there who hasn't recruited a single person. But that just speaks to my point even more. Do you know why you got 50 friend requests in one day? It's because they all want to recruit you. Obviously, she knows that, but it's because they see dollar signs when they look at you. They don't see you as like, wow, she's so nice, she's so sweet, she's so smart, I really want her on my team. No, it's literally, her MLM just closed. join my team, join my team. Like, it is disgusting, and this happens all the time. There's 3 more minutes left to this, so I'm gonna let it play, but yeah, I don't know how much of it I'll actually keep in.
Okay, this is just a little bump in the road, and we will get through this bump and all come out the other side much better for it. So sorry about the voice. As I said, I've had influenza A, pneumonia. I don't usually swear on socials, but it's been a shit show, to be fair. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I know I'm here for you all. My inbox is always opened, except for anyone that wants to spam me on joining their business. And I say that in the most loving way. I do appreciate it, but I'm honestly not interested.
Okay, I think we've had enough of her. One thing that I think is really interesting that she just said, and I just want to point out the hypocrisy and the irony of this. Now, I don't know if she specifically has cold messaged people. I think it's fair to say that 99% of people who join an MLM have been guilty of cold messaging people, of being like, hey, join my team. But the moment people start doing it to you, you're like, I'm not interested. Actually, can you not do that? I don't like that you're doing that. I'm not going to even open your guys' messages because I just don't want to deal with it anymore. It's like, well, so you've been okay with making people feel the same way, being, annoyed by your constant pitching. Your Facebook profile is probably just nothing but Modere bullshit. Like, how do you think you've been making other people feel this whole time? But suddenly now that it's happening to you, it's like, I don't like this. This is icky. It's entirely possible that this lady hasn't sent out cold messages, but most people in MLM have and still actively do. So, I don't know. You reap what you sow, I guess, It's like a double standard. It's like, it's okay if I do it to other people, but if people start doing it to me, then it's not okay. Especially because a lot of the people who reach out to people for cold messaging will be looking through cancer support groups or infertility groups or something, or weight loss groups or whatever, and just message all these people. Hey, my product helped me get pregnant. Hey, this product helped me lose 30 pounds. Join my team. Join my team. They prey on people all the time for their vulnerabilities. But the moment you're vulnerable and other people start preying on you, suddenly it's like, this is so rude. I can't believe you people are doing this. Which is it's true. It is rude. But it's no more or less rude than going in a cancer support group and telling them that your frankincense essential oil is going to heal them, And that might sound like I'm being over-exaggeratory, but we have seen this time and time again in the multi-level marketing industry. People prey on vulnerability, period. And it's happening to her and so many other people. I do have another video of this guy named Kyle Devine, who I guess is in paid per letter. Julie Joe covered this video entirely in her live, which I'll have linked down below if you want to go watch the whole thing. But I want to watch just a couple seconds of it because this guy, he's virtue signaling so hard and being like, guys, it's not okay to be doing this. It's not okay to be reaching out to these poor Modere reps. But then later on, he kind of starts suggesting that he's got the right idea. It's weird. He's a weird dude. So I do want to just take a moment to see how weird he is.
Hey, what's up, Facebook? How are you? Yes, I'm sure you just read I'm sure you're seeing it all over Facebook. Modere closes their doors after 23 years in business. I'm gonna share with you what you need to know, and you need to know this right now, okay? Because I'm already seeing it. So first off, this is not a good situation. I recently, in my past year, I had an income go from $12,000 a month to $6,000 a month overnight, and I was crushed. I'm whoa.
Whoa.
This is gonna be so hard, I'm gonna have to go find a job, stuff like that. So it's a very emotional place to be. It's very tough. It's tough for, all the people involved in that company. But here's what you need to do. Here's what everybody needs to know. Everybody that reads or listens to this, share the hell out of this. Don't be a shark. Don't be one of those freaking animals that go after all those reps. Oh, I know big leaders. Let me go over there and see if I can get them into my thing. No, people are hurt right now. They're so hurt.
this guy. Listen, his sentiment is good, but like there is no emotion in his voice. You guys need to stop. Stop it right now. Come on, stop it, sir. Modere reps do not need you to be their virtue signaler right now, okay? Also, I think it's interesting that like some people really think that they can reach out to top leaders and be like, hey, join my team. Not expecting them to be persuaded to join other MLMs based on bridge contracts, you know? Because like I said, so many of them are definitely getting them. Bridge contracts are definitely a thing right now. And you're gonna see a lot of top leaders picking a new company and bringing their teams along with them. And I can guarantee that most of those big high up leaders are going to pick their company based on who's gonna pay them the most money to go there, basically.
Like, you need to give them time. That's what you need to do. You need to step the hell back. Pardon my language. Give them time.
Yeah, this guy is like a Jesus-loving guy who loves Ray Higdon, so hell is a bad word to this guy. Excuse my language. Hell, sir, please. Anyway, sorry.
This is a serious moment. A lot of people just lost their entire life's income overnight. And that's sad. That's heartbreaking. That hurts.
Yeah, you seem
It's
really
not the
hurt.
time to go, hey, come to my thing just to make money off them. You know, because you know that maybe they're a little bit desperate right now. They don't know what to do.
He's
But I'm
right.
gonna tell you what they need to do. What you need to do if you're in Modere, you need to, in my opinion, pray to God. You need to really, you know, put your trust in the Lord right now.
Yeah, because I'm sure God is going to tell you which MLM to join next. Oh, I'm like, please. Because these same exact people are going to be, you know, the same people saying, like, God put Modere in my life to pull me out of this situation. Like, God gave me Modere. I love Modere because God chose it to me and put it in my life. And it's like, oh, really? Then why is it closed down right now? Because, like, if God really wanted to bless you, why would he throw you into a company that's doomed to fail in a few years? You know, it doesn't make any sense. But yeah, sure. Let's pray to God for new opportunities. I'm sure that's what his priority would be right now if he was real, in my opinion. No shade if you think God's real, but like, as long as you're ethical about it and stuff. But like, I can't take these people seriously. These MLM distributors who always throw God and religion into it, I can't take them seriously. I'm like, do you hear yourself? You think that God is going to be bothered with helping people join MLMs? Like, what? What are you talking about? They don't hear themselves. They don't hear how ridiculous they sound. Anyway.
But everything does happen for a reason, and God always has a plan. You just ain't seen it yet, and you don't need to see it right now. What you need to do is you need to take time to be with your family right now, to hug them, to love them. Maybe step away from social media for a little bit. And, you know, pivot. Pivot. When you're ready for it.
Why does he say it like that? I know JJ said this in her video where she brought up Ross Geller from Friends, but like the way he said it is like that word specifically when he said it, it's like a complete different like tone shift from the rest of the sentence and the rest of the words that he speaks this entire time. You know, what they need to do is pivot. Pivot! Read your Bible and then when you're ready, you can pivot.
Pivot! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
I know I'm probably being too mean to this guy, but like, it's so easy to make fun of him. I can't not. I don't care if y'all think I'm a mean girl. He's just like ridiculous.
People need to stay the hell out of all these big leaders' inboxes and come join my company, come do this. No. Don't look at people as a dollar sign right now. Like, I'm gonna go after these big leaders and get them into my thing. You're probably not going to, because they're gonna look at you as you just want money. You just want to use me to go build your thing so you can make money off of me.
Well, right. Especially if you're asking a leader to join your team as just a little guy. Because, honey, like, they know how this shit works. They know exactly what you're doing. Also, again, you gonna offer them some money? They've probably got 4 or 5 bridge contracts on their office desk right now trying to figure out which one to go to. So, honey, it ain't gonna be you, okay? It is kind of delusional for these people to think that's what's going on. But also for high-up leaders to just totally fall for that. Like, no. Because they're usually the ones doing that shit to other people. They know exactly what you're trying to do, and it's not gonna work.
Don't look at it as it's an opportunity. Cool. I get it.
That's
it
all
is an
MLM
opportunity.
is.
Go take advantage of people.
Yeah.
Go take advantage when people are vulnerable to capitalize and make the dollar. Me, personally, that's not who I am.
Okay, welcome to MLM.
That's not who I am. God will give you everything you need if you obey his orders. His orders ain't gonna go after people. That's not his orders. His orders.
Hey, sir, have you ever eaten shellfish? How many different fabrics are you wearing right now? Looks like you're wearing some kind of like polyester t-shirt, and then like this jacket thing you got going on is like definitely not polyester, something else. You're not obeying God. God said that you shouldn't be mixing fabrics like that. God said that you shouldn't eat shellfish. Have you ever eaten a shrimp? Don't even start with the you gotta obey God and he'll give you everything you want, because I don't think you're obeying God.
Let them figure out what they're going to do on their own terms. Let them pray. Let them find their next thing, figure out what they're going to do, and pivot. And if I was to pivot, and I get it, it's business. Maybe some people are just really about their money. I don't know. Me personally, I'm about people, man. My compensation plan is helping people in life. That's it. Serving people. So
that statement there seems a little counterproductive to the messaging that you've been giving this entire time. Why are you now talking about how great your compensation plan is when this whole time you've been like, just leave the Modere people alone? Listen, you can come back and be like, oh, that's totally innocent what he just said. That's an innocent thing that he said. I don't think so. I'm not so sure about that. The mask slipped a little bit there for sure. One more thing I want to react to, it's much shorter. You know, how I explained that so many people, if you search the Modere hashtag on any social media site, you're going to find just a plethora of people trying to poach Modere people. This video that I saved, I think, is easily the worst one that I found. I feel like this woman is such a monster, and she's also extremely bad at what she does. She is in a company called MyEcon. It looks like an MLM for like tax and financial services and stuff, like filing your taxes and shit. I've never heard of it, but the website is super sketchy. So she's literally trying to recruit Modere people into whatever the fuck MyEcon is. It might even be like MRR kind of stuff. I'm not really sure, but here it is. It's oh my God. This woman should be ashamed of herself.
Hey friends, I just wanted to take a moment and speak from the heart. If you haven't heard the news yet, Modere is officially closing its doors. And if that hits you hard, I get it. For many, it wasn't just a company. It was a community, a mission, and in some cases, even a lifeline. You built relationships, routines, and revenue there. So this isn't just a business, it's personal. I've been there. I know what it feels like when the rug gets pulled out from under you. The questions, the overwhelm, the what now? So I just want to say, if you're feeling stuck or like you're starting over, please don't think you have to do it alone. If you're looking for a new home, I'd love to invite you to check out MyEcon and the Funnel team. We've created a space that's welcoming, empowering, and most importantly, already set up for you. We've got content, done for you funnels, systems that are ready to be plug into and support every step of the way. You won't have to build from scratch. You can just pick up and keep moving forward with the people who actually care about your success. So if this transition has left you feeling lost, I hope you'll reach out. Whether you join us or not, I want you to know that you still have options, you still have value, and there is a path forward. Sending you love and support always. Peace.
Speaking from the heart? More like speaking from a script, bitch. Seriously? You really expect us to be like, oh, speaking from the heart? Yeah, that's definitely what you're doing. I totally believe you. Girl, your upline probably wrote that script. You probably didn't even write it. She like stumbled over her words, which I do all the time, no shade, but she stumbled over her words and then like restarted sentences because she's reading them. She's reading. It's not from the heart. Anyway, I think that behavior was gross. I just needed to show you those last two videos. I just think those are like two people who I'm like, sit down. At least that first guy, that Kyle Devine guy, like had a good message aside from all the God shit and then talking up his compensation plan right after that. But you know, aside from that, at least he had that, but he's just like the most unenthusiastic person I've ever seen. And then that woman speaking from the heart, and her heart apparently is a piece of paper that her upline wrote. Anyway, so the final thing, I think this is the final thing that I wanted to cover regarding this Modere closure is the start of a brand new MLM company. Yeah, already. So there's this guy, John Melton. He was a high-ranked distributor, and right after Modere closed down, so many of these high-ranking Modere distributors kind of started acting very sketchy. And as if this closure couldn't get any worse, John Melton and his buddies have like really turned this into a mess. So anyway, John Melton, he was a top distributor with Modere. I think he was with the company for like 10 years. The day before Modere closed down, he posted a Facebook Live or a video or whatever it was. And the caption said, if I had to start all over building my following in my business, here's what I would do. And we're not going to watch the video. It's long and kind of pointless, but the day before it shuts down, you're going to make a video about what to do if you're starting from scratch. Like, that's suspicious. Could it just be a coincidence? Sure, it could be. Anything could be a coincidence. Fine, I'll grant you that. Just a little sketchy. Then the next day, after Modere announced the shutdown, John Melton went back to this video and left a comment that said, oh, the irony of this video. And then a laughing face. Like, it's funny. Like, hey, John, isn't this like your income? Isn't this like your life? Why are you laughing? Obviously, plenty of people are speculating with good reason that John Melton and probably the rest of his like sideline brothers and sisters, people who are on the same rank as him or, you know, similar spots in the company, you know, top 1%ers and stuff, they're speculating that he knew that something was going down. And how could you not? You know, we were talking about the Justin Prince situation where he was running off telling everyone that Modere was in financial straits and shit was going down and you need to look into other options and stuff. Like, we have to know that John Melton most certainly heard this from Justin Prince, especially if Justin Prince was running around telling everybody. He probably has been aware of this for a while, and I would assume, I think it's reasonable to assume anyway, that he at least started coming up with an idea for a backup plan. But this guy was high up in Modere, so like yesterday while I was, you know, putting all this information together, I actually had a phone call with Erin Bees. Her and I talked for quite a while. Like I said, she used to be in Modere. Jesse Lee Ward was her upline. She is well aware of who these people are. This John Melton guy was basically Erin's like mega upline. Now, Erin Bees said, she told me personally, she told me I'm allowed to say this, she said that she has personal knowledge that John Melton was coordinating bridge contracts to bring people from other MLMs into Modere. I asked her if she had proof of this. She said, no, I'm just telling you friend to friend, like this is personal knowledge that I have and I'm telling you this was happening. So according to Erin, John Melton was up here doing bridge contracts and shit. So it's like, you know, he'd have to have some connections in the C-suite in Modere to make this happen, you know? He must have had at least like an inkling of insider knowledge. I don't know. That's just my opinion. And then I think just the fact that he posted this video 24 hours before Modere was like, by the way, we're closing, it's just suspicious, but that is not anywhere near the end of what happened with John Melton. So then the next day, he posted a screenshot of Modere's website that we read earlier, and all he said was, in shock. It's like, okay, sure you are, whatever you say. 3 hours later, John Melton posted this status update. He said, anyone telling you I already made a decision is lying. Ha ha, laughing face. And then he followed up this post with a comment that said, and by the way, we had no idea this was coming. It's kind of irritating when there's accusations and assumptions that we knew this was coming, as if we would have stayed somewhere that stopped paying us. By the way, today was payday and none of us got paid, and I was owed $160,000. Did I not mention this the entire time? They shut down Modere's operation on their payday, or the day before payday, or something like that. I don't remember which one. So they didn't pay anyone anything. Right before they were supposed to pay out everything, they're like, oh no, our assets are frozen, bye! It's like, whoa. Suspicious. Very suspicious. He also posted a status update that said, show me a company where my best social sellers can make real money and earn daily pay and real residuals selling science-backed products. I'll need to see leaderboards too, suggesting like, hey, I'm looking for another company, all right? He was posting a lot and frequently during this time. I think the thing is with the whole, like, we had no idea this was coming. Why would we stay if we knew they weren't going to pay us? I personally think, like, this is all my opinion, this is my speculation, but this is what I think. I think they knew Modere was in trouble. I think they were already planning something. I think they were planning an exit. I think they were fully aware that they were not going to be in Modere much longer, but perhaps maybe they didn't know that it was going to happen when it did, as abruptly as it did. Maybe they assumed that they would have more time. I don't know. But to sit there and say, oh, we had no idea. We didn't even know this was going to happen. We thought Modere was doing great. I don't believe that. But listen, if you want to give John Melton the benefit of the doubt at this point, I would say maybe you're a little naive, but it's still plausible. But then the next day, literally 14 hours later, John Melton posted on Facebook, I think it's time to start our own company. Hey, John. I think you're moving a little bit fast, don't you think? I mean, I understand that, like, you need to get your income back, but, like, 14 hours ago, you were asking people, like, hey, send over all this documentation about your MLM companies to me. I want to see the ingredients and the science and the, like, send me all these things. And then 14 hours later, you're like, actually, never mind. It was, like, 7 o'clock at night and then, like, 9 o'clock the next morning or something like that. I'd have to look at the timestamps, but it was something like that. So, like, he posted one and then went to sleep and then woke up the next morning like, I'm going to start my own MLM. It's like, did you even like look at other compensation plans or like companies? Like, did you even look in that amount of time? Unless you stayed up all night, something tells me you had something in the works. You had some kind of belief that you were going to have an opportunity to start your own business before any of this happened. Just the speed in which this is happening, I'm like, that's suspicious. And fine, it's still, if you want to give him the benefit of the doubt, fine. But I think there's just too many things that add up to me being like, you had to know something, right? Maybe not a date, maybe not how, maybe not filing for bankruptcy. I believe they did that too, actually. I should have mentioned that like a long time ago. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they actually filed for bankruptcy. At the very least, you had to have known why Justin Prince was terminated. You had to have known about the lawsuits. You had to have seen those allegations. Like, you had to have known something. Well, on April 14th, John Melton decided to go live with his group of buddies. Rather unprofessionally too, because they not only were late to the Zoom, but they had also like sent out the wrong Zoom link to everyone who was supposed to be there. So they were off to a great start. Very professional. They finally figured their shit out. John showed up on the screen with Sarah and Tony Zalecki, who I believe they were John Melton's uplines in Modere. Alongside him, he also had Michelle Barnes, Rick Teague, Margie Alaprandi, I don't know, and Brian McMullen. Now, all of these people are basically like MLM rock stars. They're lifers in the network marketing industry. MLM powerhouses, if you will. So, you know, he definitely brought some heavy hitters into this, but surprise, surprise, John gets straight into it, and then he announces that they're starting their own company. So the clips that I'm going to put in here are from a live that my friend of the channel, friend of my heart, that's the second time I've said that in this video. What the fuck? DC, say hello to DC. She live streamed this as it was happening. So we don't have a like completely clean recording of it. Not that I know of anyway. I asked around to see if anyone had like a replay of this recording. They did not have it. So I do have to just include what DC's live was, but she did a really good job at not talking over them. So at least we have that, but it's such a mess. There was so much going on in this live stream. But yeah, John's like, we're starting our own company. And need I remind you that this was like 4 days after Modere announced that they were closing. 2 days, maybe even less than 2 days after John Melton was all like, help, send me all this stuff. I'm looking for a new home, basically. Just 2 days? 2 days. And you're already like, we're starting a company, guys. Like, even if that's true, it doesn't matter if you have some of the heaviest hitters in network marketing, in like CEO hood, I don't know, corporate bigwigs, you know, it doesn't matter how many of those people you have in your corner. I think investing in a company that has only been imagined 48 hours before the pitch, like, that's not a smart investment. It seems very irresponsible. So that's why I'm like, there had to have been some talks before this, right? Because like, who would invest in a brand new multi-level marketing company while the market is so fucking uncertain right now, especially in the MLM world? They're just dropping like flies. Who would invest the money to open a brand new company, like brand new? It had been workshopped for 2 days and they're like, yep, you can have millions of my dollars, please. It's just weird. I'm sorry. It's just, is it plausible? Yeah. But I want to believe that these people are responsible enough to be like, maybe let's not like jump into it this fast, or maybe let's not announce it this fast. I don't know. Like, take some time. Whatever. So these guys apparently have connections to Josh Zwagel, I think is how you say his last name. He's the CEO of My Daily Choice, and he runs HempWorks with his wife, Jenna, I believe is her name. I think HempWorks might have been like my second deep dive, maybe third deep dive of all time on this YouTube channel. It was really, really old, probably outdated, but I did do a lot of research on this company back in the day. Yeah, so anyway, these people on this Zoom call start bringing up Josh. Josh is on this Zoom call, so he's in on this shit too. He says he's going to be providing this new startup company with like IT, like technical infrastructure, basically. Oh, by the way, like I use the term startup, but like throughout this Zoom call, they're like, it's not a startup. It's not, because like we already have, you know, all these connections, and we're going to have this infrastructure, and we're going to have these products by people who know how to make products. And it's like, no, it's still a startup. This whole idea supposedly didn't exist 2 days ago. So yeah, no, it's still a startup. Okay. See, that's the other thing though, is that like Josh Zweigel, if that's how you say his name, has been running a successful multi-level marketing company for like definitely at least like 10 years. I think more, but I feel like Josh of all people would know that like starting up a company this quickly and expecting any sort of success is not a safe bet. And like, again, there's so many people on this call. It's like, how organized can this company be when you have like 10 fucking co-founders, dude? You might say, you know, the more the merrier, more helping hands, you know, but it seems like when it's in a stage where things really need to be decided and organized, there's not really room for 10 fucking co-founders. Like, I don't know, it just seems so irresponsible, weird, just strange. But then, okay, so then there's this guy, Brian McMullen. He seems like he's some kind of like MLM venture capitalist, you know, like he just kind of goes around throwing money at a bunch of startups and being like, I'll invest in your shit if you give me ownership of part of the company. And like, we know what a venture capitalist is, but I think he works like exclusively in the world of MLM. Like, he's giving me like Terry LaCour vibes, you know, just kind of like owning a bunch of random companies and stuff, but not necessarily like, he's more of a behind the scenes guy. That's what Aaron V's was telling me. So he starts going off on the Zoom call talking about peptides. So now we know this new MLM company that John Melton and his buddies are going to be starting. They're going to be selling peptides, which I think Make Wellness is the one that also sells peptides. So they're going to be specifically competing with them, which is interesting because like I was saying earlier, Justin Prince and Justin Sarah, I think was that other guy's name, they're the ones who run Make Wellness, and they're also from Modere, and there's a bunch of ex-Modere reps in Make Wellness, and now there's going to be a bunch of ex-Modere reps in this new company. Strange that they couldn't just like start their own new thing. They're just like, you know what, let's do the peptide thing. And then not only that, like this Brian McMullen dude starts going off saying that he has connections to the same doctor that helps RFK Jr. with stuff, as if that's some kind of flex.
I have amazing people with connections that are incredible. We have the connection to the doctor who works with RFK Jr. On peptides, one of the only FDA approved labs in the country.
I mean, I guess for all these people who think, oh, natural stuff, like we like to live a chemical-free lifestyle, and we're, you know, like those people probably love RFK Jr. or loved until he went back on his MMR vaccine hatred. Like now he's like endorsing it again after kids started dying in Texas. But anyway, like RFK Jr. is the direct fucking cause of a measles outbreak in the year of our Lord 2025, and children have died. So if you're gonna like use RFK Jr. as a flex to be like, hey, we got this guy on our side. That guy's doctor. He's my buddy. Sir, that's not the flex you think it is. Like, okay, let's just trust RFK Jr. Like, oh, come on. He is responsible for a lot of people's deaths, dude. So anyway, yeah, so they're going to be selling peptides apparently. And then at the end-ish of the stream, this, what's her name? Michelle? I forget. She pops on and says the new name of this company is Nueva.
When we decided on this name as a group, it was like a unanimous, like, yes. It was like a, oh my gosh, that's it. We've got to have a name that is strong, that is classy, that is elegant, but, you know, feminine, but strong as heck, right? And that just screams like, oh my gosh, okay? So are you guys ready for the name? Are you guys ready for the name of this legacy masterpiece that we are putting together? So the new company, all right, it's inspired by a Spanish word, new, which obviously this is, but it's Nueva. The name of our company is Nueva, guys. But what that means is a new standard of wellness, wealth, mindset.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, what this represents, guys, I'm telling you, like, I wrote down some notes. Nueva is a movement. All right?
Yeah, nueva, like the Spanish word for new. Okay, they're running out of ideas, man. For now, that's basically the story so far. Now, I feel like a lot of things have been coming out and changing every single day with this situation, so I might have to make updates, maybe not, I don't know, but long story short, Modere shut down, everyone is sad, everyone is scrambling, and there's a new MLM coming out of it, so that's the TLDR. I know it was a lot, but yeah, it's just so messy. I've sat here and watched time after time as MLM after MLM after MLM closes down or goes affiliate or shuts down those affiliate and MLM models entirely. Out of all of them, I feel like this is one of the messier ones I've seen. Yeah, it's sad to watch people get the rug pulled out from underneath them and, you know, scramble for income that they've lost, but I think it's just the way Modere did it and like their terrible decisions leading up to this point. I don't know, I guess it's a cautionary tale for MLMs, but I think just existing at this point is a cautionary tale for MLMs because like they're all dropping one by one. You may have seen that I did a community post yesterday as I'm filming this, so I don't know when you guys are seeing this, but paparazzi recently, April 15th, tax day, they came out and they said, hey, we can't afford to do the $5 jewelry anymore, so it's gonna be $8 now, and like all their Z pieces are gonna be $35 instead of I think they were $25 before. They're raising all of their prices, and this whole time that paparazzi has been existing, they've been the $5 bling people. Not anymore. All of their marketing, the $5 bling bullshit is out the window. No more $5 bling from paparazzi. And honestly, because all their shit is made in China, and we know what's going on with tariffs as far as importing Chinese stuff into the United States, I'm surprised that they're even getting away with $8 at this point. They must be paying pennies on the dollar for those pieces of jewelry, dude. If they're only able to raise their prices to $8 instead of $5, and they're gonna continue operating off of that. Like, I think it just speaks to the quality of what you're paying for with paparazzi. I'm just surprised that they're not just throwing in the towel after that, the tariff situation, and then also after the Washington Attorney General said that they can't operate in Washington anymore. It's like, hey, paparazzi, just throw in the towel, man. I think you're done. Nope, they're still hanging on by a thread, so I don't know. Anyway, listen, guys, that's where we're gonna end it, but I do need to say thank you to some people first. The list of names I'm about to read off are my financial supporters. They get access to things like my private Discord server. We have a postcard club, sometimes even more than that. So if any of that sounds good to you, you can go to patreon.com/Savannah Marie, or you can click the join button beneath this video to join my YouTube memberships. Just whatever works for you, works for me. With that, the biggest thank you in the whole wide world goes to Hula Chowdown, Jacqueline Nutton, Kessie Drew, KJ Barnes, Leanne, Marie Silver, Caroline Reed, Daniel Urena, Maddie Darley, Ray, Stephanie Mayfield, Love to Be Evil, AJC, Liz Sahu, Char City Gaming, Evan Adler, Kelsey Nicole, LaSalle Story, Fluffy Duck Butt 24, Elaine, Ferd Turgeson Esquire, Just Mark, Baby Pink Pearl, Alice Wagner, Fallon Harris, Jessica Billhart, and Emion. And to the rest of my financial supporters, thank you so much for being here and being you. Even if you're not a financial supporter, thanks for making it to the end of this video. YouTube really appreciates it, and also don't forget about that subscribe button. I'm trying to make it to 100,000 subscribers, so I appreciate it. Thank you. Sharing this video and stuff helps as well. I appreciate everything you guys do. With that, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.